Why? Why would that happen?
Prohibited is prohibited. But Carly will always be in my life.
No interest in seeing me ever?
None. You're asking a lot of questions about my personal life.
I'll be arriving in York in the morning.
Yes, thank you.
Find a car.
Can I do it all for you?
Yeah, I need to make a call. Elizabeth?
Jack Brennan is hands down the most interesting character this show has introduced in a long time. Finally, some excitement. The moment Elizabeth picked up the phone, it felt like a blast from the past. I just hope their storyline doesn't get wasted like so many others. But let's talk about a few things that don't add up. First off, why would Lucky stop Jason from killing Sidwell? Did he really think letting him live was a good idea? It's like handing him a come back and haunt us pass. And Elizabeth's whole schoolgirl crush act over Lucky. Really? After all the years he's abandoned her, you'd think she'd be over him by now. Oh, and as soon as Lucky reached for that phone, I knew exactly who he was calling. And surprise, surprise, Elizabeth picked up. Sorry, Slick Rick, looks like your chances with her are officially dead in the water. Fingers crossed, Lucky's a match for Lulu and not someone else. And can we talk about Brennan for a second? He was the hero of the day. If it weren't for him, they'd still be stuck. And didn't he get quite the thank you from Carly? A full-on embrace, complete with him stroking her hair. Now that was a moment. Honestly, this was one explosive episode of GH. With Holly making off with those diamonds, looks like Sidwell could be heading straight to Port Charles next. I'm still in my feelings after that ending. Please, just give us a real story for Liz and Lucky. They're the ultimate it couple, and it's time they got their moment. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. So that kiss? All part of Jason's master plan, and trust me, he's got a few more tricks up his sleeve to take down Sidwell. Meanwhile, Willow seriously needs to get over her Drew obsession before she wrecks her whole life, marriage and kids included. I mean, Drew's a grown man, and Nina's a grown woman. If they want to fool around, that's on them. But it looks like Willow and Drew's little secret won't be staying secret for long. Thanks to James spilling the tea to Ned, the drama is about to really kick off. Let the games begin. I can already see Ned blackmailing Drew, using that kiss to push him out and snatch the CEO position at ELQ from Michael. Classic power play. Oh, and speaking of adorable pairings, James and Cody, love them together. Cody being part of a family now is everything. But let's be real, I'd much rather see Carly and Brennan as a couple. They have the chemistry, and they'd be amazing together. Carly deserves someone like Brennan. Now, am I imagining things, or didn't Lucy do Martin dirty? Why on earth does she think they can just pick up where they left off? Someone explain. And can anyone help me out? Since when were Carly and Lulu this close? I don't remember them being besties. But now it's all about Carly losing her best friend when it should be Maxie grieving hers. Yes, Carly and Lulu are cousins, but I don't recall them being all that tight. Also, who's Natalia's ex? Are we thinking Alcazar? She's way too chill with Sunny's whole mobster life, so I wouldn't be surprised. Meanwhile, what's going on with Laura and Kevin? Are they coming home anytime soon to pick up Ace? The poor kid's already lost his mom, and now his grandparents have ditched him with some random nanny. And don't get me started on Violet, who's also lost both parents. Then you've got Sam getting killed off, leaving Danny and Scout motherless. Seriously, what is wrong with these writers? Are they on a mission to orphan every child on this show? But can we circle back to that moment when Carly ran into Brennan's arms? The way he hugged her and stroked her hair, that is chemistry. I'm ready for these two to make it official. Get Sunny out of her orbit already. There's nothing there anymore. Additionally, was Jason kissing Anna just a cover-up? It sure looked that way. He waited until he heard someone coming, then suddenly grabs Anna like it's all part of some master plan. By the time their visitors arrived, Jason's out here pretending they're madly in love, Playing cards, no less. Now, I thought I'd be totally grossed out by Anna and Jason because of Robin, but surprisingly, nope. I get it. Desperate times, near-death moments, and all that. It's clear their kiss came from a place of, we might die any second, but now they're going to have to face the awkward fallout when they get back. And while I'm not jumping up and down hoping they'll become a couple, I don't hate it as much as I thought I would. Now, let's talk about a pairing I do love, Brennan and Carly. Their chemistry is off the charts, and I've always had a soft spot for Liz and Lucky. That phone call between them, emotional, for sure, but with Lucky's health issues, it sounds like he won't be able to go through with the liver transplant. Maybe Lucas or Charlotte will swoop in for the rescue. Who knows? As for Jason, love him or hate him, the guy has a moral code. Anna, not so much. That's what makes me think this whole thing is a non-starter. Honestly, I'm not even bothered by the age gap. It's more about their completely opposite values. But let's circle back to what really matters, Carly and Brennan. When those two finally lock lips, it's going to be fire. I'm ready for that moment. Moreover, did you see Nicholas Alexander Chavez's aka Spencer Cassadine in his new show Grotesquerie? I almost didn't recognize him. Super dark, super twisted horror crime murder mystery. He's definitely left Port Charles behind for this one. Now, speaking of transformations, how is it that Lucy can compliment Martin's whole makeover, but no one has said anything about Maxie's glow-up? The girl looks amazing, and it's about time someone acknowledged it. And about Martin Gray, he left because Lucy cheated, and now he's colder and more distant. His transformation shows in how he put Lucy in her place. Honestly, good for him. But let's get into this liver transplant drama. So Lulu needs a liver, and Lucky is going to, what? Die for her? Last time I checked, humans can't give away their entire liver and still be walking around. Sure, we've got 2 kidneys and lungs, but only 1 liver, heart, and pancreas. Unless the writers think Lucky has some magical extra liver we don't know about, this doesn't make sense. Help me out here, or did the writers completely forget basic biology? Oh, and I just read about Van Hanses coming to Port Charles as Lucas. I know some folks are upset about losing the previous actor, but come on, Van was fantastic as Luke Snyder on As the World Turns. He's going to bring something fresh to the role. And yes, I know I messed up my earlier post. Van's coming to Port Charles, not Oakdale, and the old Lucas might not be the original to everyone, but he was to me. Cut me some slack. One more thing. Elizabeth mentioned Stephen Lars Weber is being released from prison, and she had this whole conversation with Terry about whether he'd come back to Port Charles. Elizabeth doesn't think he will because of his mom, Heather, but if he's not coming back, why bring him up at all? Feels like a tease. So Kelly Monaco's mom tweeted that Kelly's last day of filming was September 27th. Major news. But now, let me just say it. I'm over Felicia. The character, not the actress. Maybe Felicia would work better with stronger writing or a different actress, but she's just not on the same level as everyone else. Never has been, in my opinion. And oh boy, did that opinion spark some reactions. First off, I'm talking about the character, okay. Some people are acting like I personally insulted their grandma. There are better actresses out there. Look, she's never won a daytime Emmy, so I guess I'm not the only one thinking this. Sure, Felicia had her moments. Back in the Frisco days and early on with Mac, she was solid. But lately, the storyline is weak and the character feels flat. We've all been watching this show for what feels like our entire lives, and we're allowed to have different opinions. That's cool. I'm not here to diss her entire acting career. I just don't like this role right now. So to everyone ready to lose their minds over it, chill. Let people have their opinions. My gosh, you can't make a single comment these days without someone jumping down your throat. How many posts do we see where someone is just asking a question, and they have to say, "No rude comments, please"? If you don't like someone's question, just scroll on by. And enough with the "don't you watch the show" comments. Some people miss an episode or two. Big deal. And while we're on the topic of messy pairings, let's not forget Sunny's history. The man impregnated both Alexis and her daughter Sam. He was with mother and daughter. And Sam? She's dated both Sunny and his son Dante. Rick married Alexis and then slept with her daughter Sam. So why is everyone so shocked by the idea of a Jason and Anna pairing just because Jason dated her daughter Robin? I'm not thrilled about it either, but the writers have always done this kind of messy drama. It's what they do. You've been watching GH for decades, so why the sudden outrage? The show keeps winning awards for Best Daytime Drama year after year, so clearly they're doing something right. Be real. What's your actual issue with GH these days? I'm listening. Just make it make sense. So Lucky called Elizabeth at the end of today's episode. He's finally coming home. Jason, Anna, and Holly are on their way too. But let's pause for a second. What's the point of Holly and Sidwell coming back to Port Charles with those diamonds? There are so many unresolved storylines. John Kate's murder, the awkward non-affair between Drew and Willow, Sunny, and Ava's custody battle, Lulu's liver transplant, TJ and Molly's will they or won't they relationship drama, Portia tampering with Heather's test results, and now we're throwing in this random con woman espionage mess with Holly. I used to love Holly back in the day, but right now I'm not feeling it. Am I the only one? And speaking of things that don't make sense, what's worse? Willow constantly trying to avoid Drew, only for him to come sniffing after her every time she's alone. Or Sunny pretending he can't stand Carly while they keep up appearances, then making a beeline for Natalia every chance he gets. Both of these are nauseating, but I'm torn. What's your opinion? Which situation is more cringeworthy? Honestly, can we just stop with the mothers and daughters sharing the same man? It's beyond gross, and I'm so tired of this soap opera trope. Either the guy is old enough to be one's father, or young enough to be the other's son. I don't care how complicated they want to make it. Sharing a man who slept with your mother is a hard no from me. Every single time. Now, I don't mind the whole Willow, Drew, or Nina storyline as much. They're newer characters, and I'm not as deeply invested in them. In fact, the Drew-Willow mess has actually made new Drew a little more interesting to watch. I don't have that gut-level reaction here like I do with characters I've been following for a few years. But let's talk about Anna and Jason, beyond gross. This pairing is so wrong on so many levels. It's creepy and feels borderline incestuous, and it's not just because of the age gap. I've grown up with these characters. Anna has always been Robin's cool, badass spy mother, and Jason was so tied to Robin's history. This is core soap opera memory stuff, like Liz and Lucky's teen romance or Todd Manning's shady intro. Anna should be completely off-limits to Jason, romantically, and I have no idea why anyone thought this would sit well with long-term viewers. It's downright revolting. Furthermore, Tracy Quartermaine being jealous over Cody and Sasha on General Hospital? That's some truly bottom-tier writing. This is the same Tracy who has outwitted business moguls and held her own against ruthless family rivals. And now we're supposed to believe she's losing sleep over Cody, a guy whose greatest achievement is wrangling horses and barely staying out of jail. It's like taking a legendary predator and making her chase after house cats. Reducing Tracy to this jealous mess over Cody is not just absurd, it's downright insulting to her legacy. Are we really supposed to believe that a woman who has survived countless power struggles and boardroom brawls is now obsessed with a guy who has all the charisma of a broken lawn chair? It's a sad day when Tracy's biggest battle is competing with Sasha for Cody's attention. Like she doesn't have anything better to do than chase after a man who probably still needs his mom to pack his lunch. The writing here is so lazy it's borderline offensive. If Tracy's going to be jealous, at least give us something believable. Instead, it feels like the writers are throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks. Spoiler, it doesn't. Watching Tracy chase Cody is like watching a luxury sports car try to win a demolition derby. Awkward, painful, and downright cringeworthy. Come on, GH. Tracy deserves better than being dragged into petty, eye-roll-worthy drama over a man whose emotional depth rivals a stuffed taxidermy exhibit. Let her go after corporate titans, plot elaborate revenge, or bulldoze half of Port Charles if she feels like it. Just don't let her go out like this, drooling over a romance that's as bland as her competition. Thank God Stella had the good sense to tell her what's what. Additionally, the GH writers must be pulling some serious overtime on Christina's screen time. I mean, we've gone from, hey, where's Christina, to, is this the Christina show? Faster than you can say soap opera drama. It feels like they've decided to hand her every scene that was meant for other characters who actually have, plots. At this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if they rebranded the hospital as Christina's Shit Show. And then there's her latest relationship arc, which fell flatter than a souffle in an earthquake. I was hoping for some actual depth in her storyline, but instead, we got all the romantic chemistry of two wet sponges. It felt more like watching an awkward high school play where nobody knows their lines. For a soap that's been bold with LGBT representation, Christina's romance has all the heat of a daytime nap. At this point, I half expect her next storyline to involve joining a monastery. At least there, the silence would be intentional. And don't even get me started on Agent Kate's murder. The writers hyped it up like it was going to be the next big thing, only for it to fizzle out like a dollar store sparkler. His death had all the emotional impact of a stubbed toe, here 1 minute, gone the next, with the investigation wrapped up faster than a microwave burrito. Christina's getting 10-minute monologues about her latest existential crisis, but Agent Kate's? He got a send-off that was as memorable as his time on screen. Honestly, if I blinked, I would have missed it, and I kind of wish I had. I strongly suspect Maurice's flare-up meant everything connected to Jagger's nerfing and death had to be planned and executed in record time, while the Talk Baby story was already in motion. This means more double Christina time for us. As supporting evidence, just witness the insanity of the Cody family picnic and the Drillo yoga of lust swooning scene taking place right over the Jagger bloodstains. Meanwhile, they're having a deep discussion about their mutual lust just feet away. And while Mikey was making a big deal about staying away from the crime scene, the only logical conclusion is that these scenes were already filmed, or that the flare-up occurred too late in the filming sprint to change locations. Moreover, I'm not sure what alternate reality the writers are living in when they decided to pair these two, but it feels like a fever dream. Honestly, I can't be the only one reaching for brain bleach every time they share a scene. First off, their chemistry is so non-existent that I'm convinced they're secretly allergic to each other. You know how oil and water don't mix? That's them, except the water is tap water and the oil is expired motor oil from a car that hasn't moved since 2005. Watching them try to generate sparks is like trying to start a fire by rubbing two soggy sticks together. Awkward, and frankly, it smells like bad decisions. Then there's the sheer mismatch of it all. It's like the writer said, you know what would be fun? Let's pair a moldy sponge with a Michelin-starred meal. Seriously, there's no other explanation for this pairing. They look as natural together as pineapple on pizza, except in this case, someone dropped the pizza, left it on the floor for 3 days, and then tried to serve it as fine dining. Let's not even get started on the physical affection. When they kissed, it looked like two vacuum cleaners trying to fool around. They're practically daring us to look away, and trust me, I would, if I didn't have to watch through my fingers, hoping it ends as quickly as possible. Someone please put this relationship out of its misery before we all lose our faith in romance. This couple is less love story and more biohazard. They don't belong together, they never did. Honestly, I feel like I need a shower after every scene they're in. Please, writers, do the right thing. Call the relationship corner and let's bury this one deep. Like Mariana Trench deep. Honestly, this is what frustrates me about GH fans. They whine and complain when nothing changes, and I'll admit, I'm one of those who gets tired of the status quo. But when the show finally decides to shake things up, they start chirping like agitated birds. Remember when Sunny became Mike? That was the last time this happened. Everyone bitched about it, so the writers reverted to the same old crap. The same crap that everyone seems to hate now. Some of y'all just never know what you want. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.